What's your end?
God, I'm not. See, this really feel bad. I was like, oh. It's look at you. You look. Oh, okay. Look everywhere. What? No, it's this is muted. Yeah, that's what I told you. Is I didn't set it up.
Inception.
Yes, I don't have the skills. Oh, it got silent very quick. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for making the time. Welcome, Matt Chapman, who is kindly sponsoring us and hosting us tonight. Happy International Women's Day for all the ladies in the room. Because we are really living in the legacy of all these women who's worked for us to get women's rights. I thought it was a wonderful thing to start a conversation about the different profiles that we can see in CIBSE and see that there are different journeys, there are different experiences, and we have tonight one amazing profile because I've met them all. God, so I can tell you they're amazing. And I'm excited. So I will let them introduce themselves and tell you who they are and where they are working for CIBSE tonight. So, Joe, please start.
So, Joe Russell, the CIBSE Yen chair. Been chair for 2 years now and been working in the industry coming up to 10 years. So it's going to the end of my time in the Yen. So, yeah. I work for WSP. CIBSE YEN London.
Okay. Hello everyone. So I'm around Westview. I am the current vice chair of Global Yen. I've been previously the chair as Ruth is for Yen London and the vice chair and the communications officer. And I've been involved with CIBSE since about 5 or 6 years now. I work for Faithful and Wood as a sustainability and zero carbon consultant, and my background is mechanical engineering. CIBSE. Yes, that's okay.
So my name is Marianne Clark. I work at AECOM. I'm the chair of the HVAC group, and I've been the chair for about 2 years now. So I've only got another year, and then I will be looking to move on. Was there any other questions? I'm gonna keep. Yeah, I think that's it. That's my introduction, and I'll wait for the next question. So
You're doing good. Gavin?
Good evening, guys. I'm Gavin Lane. I'm the chair of the CIBSE Young Energy Performance Group, of which I've been a member for about 3 years. I'm a senior energy performance consultant at Carbon Intelligence with a mechanical engineering background.
Great. And how can you describe your tenure so far? Because you are halfway through.
Yeah, so yeah, 1 year out of 2.
Yeah. How can you describe your tenure so far?
I would say, in 3 words, I would say inspiring, challenging, and fulfilling.
Challenging. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. I'd say inspiring because I think as part of the group, I've had a lot of exposure to kind of very inspirational thought leaders in their fields through various events that I've organized, through like engaging with speakers from various kind of people that are providing solutions to solving or to improving energy performance, and are like working with various different groups within the city, and so it's quite inspiring.
How about you, Marianne?
yeah, so as I was saying, that I've been there a couple of years now. When I first became chair, it was during lockdown, and that obviously had some massive issues. I know other people have experienced the same thing, and really just trying to engage with the committee when you can't see them face to face. I mean, this is just fantastic that there's people here. So yeah, it's had its challenges, but it's really rewarding as well. And for me, it's all about how we bring in the next generation and we've looked at diversity within the group, and so we're really trying to look at how we can bring in sort of different cultures, different ages, different experiences, because we think that's really important to make sure we get that diverse group. So that's it so far. So
can I just say, before we move on to Irate, can you define what is HVAC group? Because I think
that's a,
yes,
that's a very good point. So it's heating, ventilation, and air conditioning.
thank you. It's a group. It's not a committee.
It's a group, but we are, I suppose we're called a committee. So but and we're made up of voting members and non-voting members. So we still have our AGM and then we meet quarterly. So very probably similar to what you guys are doing as well. So
yeah. Irate. I'm smiling because I like we had this conversation, but like go ahead.
My tenure.
Yes. So both because you became chair during lockdown. 2 years of
That
lockdown.
was very challenging. I forced you to have me for a second year just because I was so enthusiastically keen to do so many things and organize these events in person and do this and do that. And I was like, no, I understand it's bad luck for everyone. But of course, for me as well, being the chair, and I wanted to do so many things. I was waiting for it for so long. And then I forced them to have it for a second year. And then, of course, it was the second year of COVID. So I was like, no, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to move into the global position and hopefully COVID will, which it did eventually, of course. And we're back and meeting each other. I was like, CIBSE gave me this opportunity in the first place to just step out of my comfort zone and try to meet people anyway from the beginning until now. Get inspired and inspire as much as possible. So even though it was very challenging these 2 years, I think it was amazing. I met amazing people, even online, but in person as well before COVID and even now. And I continue to live in every single person that I met. I got inspired from different ways and for different reasons. And that's something that I really want to pass to the new people that are coming in. And I would love to have more people coming in because of that, to understand how I feel about it and how they might feel in the future. So yes, I think that was a great experience so far, and I can't wait for what is coming.
We are excited because as chair, we are expecting so much from you for this year. Because because we rise up the expectations so much, and we're just trying to keep the momentum up.
Yeah, definitely. And that was one of the main reasons that before COVID, we had such a great momentum. Like people were doing so many events. We traveled a lot. We went to Malaysia, to Singapore, like everywhere around the world for CIBSE. And I found out that it was very challenging during COVID period. And of course, I felt that people in the regions, they need the support to start having that momentum again. And I was like, okay, let's do that. Let's start supporting people, and maybe we can just start doing more events and, you know, bringing people in and, you know, of course, experience what I experienced when I first joined. So yeah, definitely. I know you have high expectations. And
I'm excited because I saw everything that we could do. And that's one of the reasons why I'm still part of CIBSE activity, because I think you guys have shown what we can literally do when we are given the opportunity. Now, when I'm moving to Joe, I have to say I'm particularly impressed with Sophie in general, with the way they organize. They are so organized. Listen, these people have summer dinners. Like they have so. It's like I heard that, I was like, wait, what? They have gala. It's fancy.
The public health engineers are a very social bunch, so it's been easy to build on that network and relying on our industry supporters and the working group to be able to put together some nice events and CPDs and site visits thanks to those fantastic partners. So, because for me, I was secretary during COVID, and then we lost all our committee. They all stepped down at the end of their 3-4 years as part of it. and had to rebuild the whole committee. So it's been great to be able to get some momentum going again and get back to doing some events that are completely new. We've managed to get some not just CPDs, but site visits. So we're now doing our second one next month, thanks to CIBSE Brooks, which is fantastic. And we're hoping to start rolling those out a bit more regularly as well.
Which helps me go to transition to my next question, which is throughout your tenure, throughout your journey within your CIBSE Group Committee, what have you experienced that you inherit from previous chairs, previous members that you actually carry into your tenure? You're like, oh, that I'll remember that when I'll be chair. That is there any particular element that you can remember that you saw and you picked up when you became chair?
So for me, it was trying to make sure I cover speaking to the members and trying to cover exactly what their needs were. And coming out of COVID, the big one was lack of skills on site and lack of physical, practical experience. People didn't realise just how big equipment was, how big and complex bends were and drainage pipes. So being able to get people on site and get people hands-on experience has been a big drive. And that was something I picked up from the previous chair. Make sure you listen to what's wanted. So we're looking at fire, we're looking at hot water, because that's something that's changing and it's becoming more and more complex. Yes, on the regs, it's straightforward, but in practicality and in relation to everyone else's requirements, it's a lot broader and a lot more complex than it is on paper. So it's trying to listen to what's required and implement that.
So I'll move to, for the same question, I'll move to you, Gavin, because I don't know a lot about YPG. We tried in the past with Errata to have like with Rosilla, to have activities with YPG, but it's not a group that I personally come across or collaborate with. So what is the one keeping during your 3 years or previously before joining YPG that you saw and that motivates you to start this journey in YPG?
I think similar to Joe, was like site visits. Like actually, so with the YPG, whilst we're multidisciplinary and have people that are maybe from an architectural background or an engineering background and work within kind of different phases of the building life cycle, a lot of us are design engineers, and so don't necessarily get to speak to facilities managers to understand how buildings are operated. The challenge is when they're handed over, when the building's handed over to an operational team, how to kind of make sure it's operating effectively and kind of use what's been designed. So I think site visits are just like they're gold for like design engineers to understand, create that feedback in terms of how buildings are operated, and just hearing it straight from a building manager or a technical services manager, which that's something I've been like really focusing on to try and organize. And during COVID it was tricky, but it's getting a lot easier now, which is great.
You also said when we were talking earlier that everyone you'd speak to inspire you.
Yeah.
So I want to know more because.
Yes. So on the previous chairs, I mean, for me, the person that I took over from, Tony Day, he's got such a sort of a natural personality with people, and I suppose wanted to continue that on from where sort of he left off, in that engaging people, passing on that knowledge, because there's such a fantastic amount of knowledge within my group, and I listen to them and I'm like, wow. Obviously I try not to, I'm sure they all know by now, but every time we have a conversation, I'm learning something, I'm sure everyone else in the group's learning something, and so I suppose that's what I wanted to carry on. And it might not be me that knows everything, but if I can draw that knowledge out from everybody in my group, then I know that for me that I've done a good job.
That's fantastic. How about you, Ratu?
How about me? So I think one of the most important things that I got and inherited was the passion they had. So the passion to organize events, the passion to listen to us, to what we want to do, to that the people that we wanted to approach to come and talk to us, they're passionate about like networking and everything. So that was amazing. I really like that, and as you can see, that I really enjoy what I'm doing. I really want to actually pass that to the people that they're listening to. Something else is the way that they were doing things, like the processes, like how they were organizing the meetings. Of course, it was so difficult when I was the chair, so it wasn't easy to just do things as they were doing because it was online. But in terms of the processes, how we reach CIBSE, how we arrange events, if we have to arrange events, as we call it. But generally, everything that they left behind, like the Yen handbook, like, you know, Alex Young, she left the handbook, which was as a Bible to us for all the processes with CIBSE. So, yeah, I think we inherited. Yeah, quite glad that I was there learning from them.
Absolutely agree. But now another challenging question. So one thing we can be challenged by is when you have someone you look up to, a previous chair that have an amazing vision, and then you come into a role, you say, oh, I would do the same, I would just carry that fire, and just don't work out exactly the same. My question is, have you refined your vision of what you want your committee to do, or have you kind of find your own mark in the way you lead your committee?
Can start with me. So when I was first asked if I would do the job, I actually looked up the word chair in the dictionary, and it's got quite in the English language, as we know, there's many different types of meanings. So a chair is a seat, usually with 4 legs and a back, that is for support. And so I basically said to my group is that I want to be your support. I've not got 4 legs, but you know, depends on angle I'm looking at. I wanted to be there for my group and to give them all a voice. And so for me, my legacy would be that I allowed everybody to be individuals and everybody's voice to be heard, and also to have a bit of energy as well. Ooh, that's what I'd like to bring to the table.
Oh, that's good. What about you, Joe?
For me, when I was starting in the committee, we had all the different roles. We had the education, we had technical, we had events and social media, and it all during COVID, it just seemed to all get jumbled. Everyone was doing a bit of everything to help, and that's what we've tried to keep going. Everyone's doing a bit of everything to keep it moving. If someone's busy, someone else can pick it up, and just making sure that it doesn't matter who's doing it, there's still momentum going forward. And I think that's the big key, is just keep things progressing. Doesn't matter who's doing it or how long it takes, as long as there's progress towards it. That's the main thing.
So I might be the first to know about it. So reveal yourself. What is your vision for, because you are stepping up as chair in April. What is your vision for leading us as a global Yen committee? Have you thought about, oh no, I don't want to put you on the spot, but have you thought?
I have something in mind. I hope it will, I don't know, happen. But, you know, generally before COVID, as I said, I was getting a lot from everyone, like in the global position. So something that I felt that could actually be a point of attraction as well for people to join CIBSE and also be happy with it. That I was super happy with it. Is like combine traveling with knowledge, or travel for knowledge, let's say. So in the past, we did so many trips, like in Malaysia, been to Singapore, been all around the UK. So I was thinking that maybe we can start again with these events around the world, because of my global position. Hopefully I'm one of these links, and people that they've done it in the past, and of course me having done it in the past and discussing it around different networks. It is amazing to discuss with different people around the world about how they're actually doing things and doing the same way, to see different projects, to actually have different ways of doing things in the buildings, you know, it's amazing to see projects around the world, of course. And I was thinking that it's a very good way to bond with each other. So traveling together, it's an amazing way to meet people there. Of course, exchanging knowledge, but of course, you know, we bond with the people to travel with. So that's something that I really have in mind, like a big vision, and also, I don't know, support and link the regions as much as possible with anything else they need. And I think that's something very important. So we're looking forward to it. See. How about you, Jen?
Yeah, so the question is around kind of how I refined kind of my goals for the group. Yeah, I guess like yeah. So previously, the Young Energy Performance Group, like its mission statement is there's three big things. It's, you know, contributing to ways to improve building energy performance, quite broad. The second one is like engaging with young professionals, our university students, to like encourage them to join the industry and get involved in roles that involve improving building energy performance. And then the third one is like, you know, helping young professionals expand their network within the industry once they've entered it. And I think during COVID, we very much focused on the first one because that was the only one that we felt in control of. So we just smashed out events, podcasts, content, and just like getting people to sign up to like online stuff. And so that was very much kind of like what I came into. And I felt like I couldn't keep that up because I felt like everyone was like burnt out from like going on like CPDs and online events. So I think my goal for this year is to revisit the two other aspects of our mission statement. So engaging with universities and like young professionals to encourage them to join this industry. And I think I'd like to lean on Yen to understand how they do it because yeah, I think it's something that was very tricky to do during COVID, but it's something I want to revisit. And yeah.
You know, we have in the room the future chair of Yen, so you can make comment. So we talked a lot about like the issue with COVID slowing us down and making us change a little bit the way we were doing things. But looking at your tenure, most of you are halfway through, you are about to start. So my question is, looking back at your tenure so far, do you feel like you've maintained the line of action that you were setting yourself to, or you diverted a little bit and you say, oh, now I need to really settle myself on that goal because I'm more closer to the end than the beginning? Joe?
I think it's been slow and steady, having to have rebuilt from scratch. I think we've done a reasonable job of getting where we are, but hopefully it'll build momentum going forward. And it's always difficult to rebuild processes, rebuild the connections when it's not just our committee, CIBSE are changing, Sophie have changed. To rebuild those connections, processes, and get things refined, plus dealing with the ever-changing work environment. People are still not in London 100%. We're not in London 100%. And it's hard to make sure there's a day that works for everyone, or make sure that even when you do set an event, that we don't have a strike, we don't have random weather events that affect the attendance in a way that makes it detrimental to then put it on again.
Yeah.
So we've had to change the way we think about things. CIBSE as a whole have done a lot of CPDs. So we try to avoid CPDs because there's one every couple of weeks. So why would you attend one in London when you can do it virtually from your own home? So trying to make sure it's something with a bit of a draw to actually get you out of your house, get you into the city and actually attend the event and get the most out of it. So it's been difficult to build the attendance, but we're slowly getting there. I think if we can keep the momentum up hopefully by the end of my tenure next year, we'll be back to where we were pre-COVID numbers. So
How about you?
I'm going to have to reflect back on the question. Do I feel like I'm on the right track? I think it's a really interesting question, and I'm not sure if I had reflected on that enough until you asked that. And I think I'm fairly happy with with the path that I'm on. I think it has been difficult, you know, with COVID, and I think we can all agree with that, and just trying to get that engagement. I think probably you know, you can always work harder, but you've got your job and other things take over. So realistically, I'm sure we could all do more, but I feel like we've had some fantastic events. The one that we did on COVID, the management of COVID, we had like literally, right, was it 500? I'm looking at that. We had like 500 people online. It was absolutely crazy. I mean, obviously everybody wanted to know the answer. What do we do? Ventilation off, so it was really interesting. And actually I think we found quite a good place now between this hybrid kind of event, and it is working. I do think there will be less people coming, and we need to find a way of advertising more. I know we've got some people in the room here that are very good at advertising, LinkedIn, just trying to engage people, showing them why it's important that they attend the event, what they're going to learn from it. So yes, I think probably on reflection I will be happy. Maybe I need to think a bit more about my next year before I close up. But thanks for that.
I just need to say the recording and the hybrid thing, it was due to the weather. Like I did not plan it at all.
No, I think this is you've got to do it. I mean, I know that we have people that they just cannot be there, and we've got the audience has opened up by having it this way. And I think, you know, it's great to meet in person, but it's also great for those that can't attend for any other reason. You know, they might not be able to get out there. So this is great. We're being inclusive. That's what it's all about, being inclusive.
How about you? Halfway through?
Halfway through, yeah. I've actually never organized or been part of organizing an in-person event directly. And I think that is something that will be the goal for this year, definitely. I think since joining kind of or since being able to go to in-person events, what I've found is like, okay, the travel can be, it's a little bit of an annoyance sometimes. Or it's not as convenient as an online event, but it gives you time for like contemplation before and after, well, mainly after. Whereas I feel like when you join like an online event and you exit the Teams meeting and then you're just back into reality, you just completely forget exactly what you just watched, or you're distracted. Whereas like you're present when you're in the room, and I think a lot of it sticks. So that's probably what I'm going to try to do, and I'd be slightly disappointed if I don't achieve that by the end of the night. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
How about you, Irate?
So I'm going to speak about CIBSE Yen. I think one of the main targets I had when I first started thinking what I'm going to do being the chair was like changing a little bit the topics of the CPDs and all the events we're doing. And what I mean by that is that when I first joined, it was all the events we're doing were strictly engineering, about how this works, how this, like mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. Of course, we're building services engineers. That was super important. But in my head, just finishing a master's like in sustainability design, and of course working as a sustainability consultant, graduate sustainability consultant back then, I had this passion about bringing sustainability and energy efficiency in our topics. So I remember when I first started my vision, and generally what I wanted to do is like having all our events being around this topic. So I feel that I achieved that. So if you remember, like everything was like a green topic or sustainable topic, so we wanted to. Yes. So I feel like good about achieving that. And yeah, what I have started. So.
You did. We had a soft skill event that we did in partnership with Ashway.
Yes.
And you actually introduced me to Kendall. Sorry, I don't know if you guys learn about it. So I'll I'll come back to that. You guys are still showing a lot of passion, and that's something like that inspires me for sure. I wonder, what do you think with the younger generation that haven't engaged with CIBSE yet? Because I meet a lot of those. What do you think we as CIBSE group members we could do to stir up more engagement, more passion, more than what we already do? Because we do a lot already, and you said so much we can do in a day. I wonder what in your opinion we could put to really stir up more passion or interest in both in the groups, committees, and both in CIBSE as an institution.
Well, listen, it's down to all of us. We've all got to be going out there, talking to people at universities and telling them what we love about what we do, because that's what I do, and I'm sure that's what you all do, and that's why you're here. And so it's a little bit direct, but as far as I'm concerned, it's down to us. We just have to spread the word. And if people can see the passion, they get excited and they're like, oh, that person actually likes their job. I don't like my job. Maybe I should be becoming an engineer. And yet, at the end of the day, we're all saving the world. Who does not want to save the world? I say my children. They're going to be engineers.
That's brought me to CIBSE. So and seeing all these people TV talking about stuff, and I was like, and that motivated me to be better in my everyday job.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I want to succeed. I want to do this and that and do that. Like within CIBSE, I was motivated about being involved and bring more people and make them somehow feel the same passion and the same inspiration. So I think that's exactly the key here. People like get inspired from us and then just try to give them that. So it's so important, I think. So
I will twist a little bit the question just because I don't want to get them same answer. So for Joe, who actually motivates you to start this route to chair? Who did you just nominate yourself?
No, when I first started at WSP, the vice chair was one of my colleagues. So they'd only been going a year at the time, and I joined as a general dog's body in the committee, helping out wherever I could, whether that was kicking the then events secretary up there, just making sure we move things forward. And that just eventually moved forward to me then taking on the secretary role, because they needed someone to take an active role and attend the meetings and take a few notes. And then COVID happened, we lost a few of our committee, so it made sense for the last standing committee member to step up into chair. And as we've rebuilt it, we've now got another year to learn and develop and get the next generation ready to take over. And even when it comes to inspiring people to join the YEN groups, when it comes to the subgroups and the committees and the societies within them, it's encouraging anyone who dabbles in any of the additional specialisms to join, because the knowledge sharing is so vast. You will never learn everything. And there's such a broad depth of experience and knowledge within these subgroups that unless you're a member and you're getting to a few of these events and networking and chatting, you'll never realise it's out there. And you'll find people who you can happily call up and get advice on a project with no pressure. It's fantastic. It's a great opportunity to find out these experts without having to rely on web searches or being the local experts in your office. There's a whole breadth of knowledge out there that everyone's happy to help.
Absolutely. What inspired you? Because you joined 3 years ago, YAPG.
Yeah.
What just motivated you to go for
chair? It's probably the previous chairs that I was sat underneath, really, like Rosella and others. Yeah, Michael. They just really liked their energy that they brought to the role, and yeah, I just wanted to kind of continue their great work. And I think what I've kind of, in response to kind of the first part of that question, something I've been thinking about is, which maybe I'm biased coming from the energy performance group or young energy performance group, where there's people from various different backgrounds. It's quite broad. Something I think CIBSE could maybe improve, or maybe clarify, and do more messaging about is like they need people, professionals from different disciplines, not just engineering disciplines, because there's, I think, over the last kind of maybe 5-10 years, the concept of building energy performance requires more than just kind of well-designed engineering solutions. It's like kind of how to like achieve kind of good, I don't know, look at a building from a well-being perspective, or like integrate nature-based solutions into a building, or like, so I think while CIBSE is like kind of evolving with the requirements of the industry, I think there could be more kind of encourage more people, not just from a strictly kind of engineering background, to get involved. Which is something, because I think within our group, there's architects that have done kind of masters in sustainability that have got into modeling that provide a completely different perspective to mechanical design engineers doing kind of fit outs in hospitals and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that's a potential way that I think CIBSE could improve.
But I think in my mind, it also joins what Marianne said, because in Chapman DSP, I met an engineer who had an environmental consultant who has an architect background, and he does whole life cycle on buildings. Yeah. But I think it's worth relying on, like, CIBSE as an institution only goes as far as we can go. And I think it's true that we have to be, as CIBSE members, we have to be the ones spreading that word. Because I didn't even know that, I know architect could do BIM, but I didn't know they could do like environmental consultant and low carbon cycle.
Life cycle carbon.
That's what we need to do. Yes, so I think you hit the nail. I always knew I would put that expression somewhere. I'm so proud of myself, honestly. So I have two last questions, and one, this one is really personal. There are multiple people who want to take over officers' roles in committees, and what will be the advice? Because it can be frightening to take that leap of faith to start a position, even if you have the job description like time commitment, or I'm not sure, and stuff like that. So the AGMs are coming up for multiple committees. So what will be that advice that you could give to, well, young engineers or anyone who would want to take that step, who is hesitant to take that step within a CIBSE group or committee?
That's what you get.
Yeah.
I think if you feel like you've got something to say, or you want to like get more involved, or you feel like you've got lots of energy or passion that you want to share, don't be afraid to speak up and step into the unknown. Embrace it.
Absolutely.
Maybe I'll be inspired to.
Well, the thing is, we're all so scary. So if you really want to come to no, the point is, like, we all come from the same background, and at the end of the day, if you think you're scared, then the person that's out there is scared as well. We're all scared, that we're all humans, aren't we? So it really is, and it completely depends on what kind of personality you are. You're either out there and you'll just step into the role, or if you just need a bit more encouragement, you come in, you work your way up, you listen to start with, and then you take on another role, and you can build your way up to the top. You don't have to jump into chair straight away. So and don't get me wrong, we love help in our committees. So you know, if you just want to come and listen in, you know, we're trying to get a bit of a succession plan going within the HVAC group. So we're actively asking people to come in as guests so they can see how we operate, and then they can get a feel for how it is, and then hopefully they like it or they don't, and then we move on.
You just back them like, oh, that's it. You're not going anywhere.
The trapped.
Oh, you were.
That's yeah. I got a few. In the room. I'm here for advertising.
I'm going to go to any CIBSE group event. They might catch us in the minutes. Oh my God. We are normal people. I need to be serious. Oh, Hiratu.
So yeah, my personal experience, I'm going to tell you a very quick, small story. I was a graduate when I started. I was working back then for Philip Lab, current HDR. And then I had two people there that they were actually mentors, Ryan, maybe from Ryan Rodriguez from CIBSE and Hyder. And I was so scared, and I was like, I really want to do it, but I'm not sure if I can and if I'm going to be adequate. First of all, I was quite shy because I was from another country. Things were operating completely different in Greece. So I was like, oh my God, can I do that? What is a volunteering committee? And secondly, my comfort zone, of course, I had to step out of my comfort zone, and stop overthinking and try to defeat all the language barriers. I felt that I was only 2 years in the UK, and I felt that I could not be adequate in a role like this in an institution like CIBSE, and being in front and speak with people, represent people. And I was like, oh my God, when am I going? So I do it. And I remember they grabbed me in the kitchen one day and they were like, no, you have to do it. You have to step out of your comfort zone. That's how you grow. And it's very important. You will see that in a year or two, you'll be like a different person, and then you will just enjoy it. If you enjoy it in Greek, you will enjoy it in English, and you will get better and better and better. So it was very stressful, I have to admit. I still don't feel that I'm adequate in English, but I try. And I think I'm in the position to say that even if you are native or not, or if you feel that you can do it or not, go for it. It's an amazing experience, and I can guarantee, and if you don't feel the same way, come find me, tell me, that you will enjoy it, and all the other things that you're getting, it's going to be massive. Instead, thinking about language barriers or, not being confident. I built up my confidence and I opened up my horizons, and that was the best thing in my life. So do it.
One of these person was a
Just
Cairo.
Adrian.
It's like, yeah, the Spanish way, yeah. Because I remember when we met, he was at the AGM at Quality, and he was there. He was the past chair. He was there for support, and I found that it was really nice to see that.
So
It
supportive.
was,
Both and Ryan as well. And I'm so glad I have them. I had them as mentors. Ryan is still my mentor, but it's amazing to find people. That was something that you can have within CIBSE. You meet people, and then you pick who you want to pair and ask questions and get better, and people support you. It's amazing. Just do it. Just do it.
So don't get too comfortable yet, because I'm about to be thirsty with the last question. I'm going to joke, but don't settle yourself as
just take the leap. Every little helps in terms of the committee. There's always something small, no matter how small it could be. It could be hunting down some logos for companies. It could be helping to find venues around the cities, around towns. It could be just making contacts with a couple of different companies to find out if they have apprentices, if they have graduates. There's always something that's not time consuming or not overbearing in terms of the workload that can be done to help, but also there's larger tasks. So it could be as small or as big a contribution as you want. You could listen into meetings for 6 months before anything takes your fancy that you like to do. Some people have come in, suddenly love social media. Great, we'll capitalise on that. We'll get people doing social media campaigns and doing videos and things like that. Or some people find that they like to do events and will help organise events. Others are happy to find STEM events and different ways of engaging with the schools or the universities and things like that. So there's always something. So just jump in and get involved. There's no commit too big or too small that can't be accommodated. So.
No commitment too big or too small. I will jump on that. Erato, are you settled? So CIBSE has launched recently a mentor database to try to recruit and we criticize them a lot about not engaging a lot, not being present in universities where IMECI and IT snatch everyone right away. And this, we recognize that this journey within CIBSE, if you don't know, you won't go. So have you considered mentoring a young engineer and enrolling into this? Because someone has done it for you. So
I haven't thought about it, but now you're mentioning.
I'm putting
Why
it
not? I mean,
forgive me.
to be honest, if someone feels that could get anything from me, either from my experience with CIBSE or my professional experience, I would love to. I mean, I'm super supportive as a person generally, and I would love to do it. So if anyone feels that would like me as a mentor, I'm here for you, and anyone else, the same way that I got supported, which was so important in my career, not being like from the UK, having someone to actually talk about difficulties, either in the company that I was working or outside, like, even personal stuff, I would be there. Or this, in the same way that someone was there for me. So I would be more than happy, definitely put me in the library.
You have to. That's why I'm pushing, because you have to. You have to sign up.
I will.
I will send this to CIBSE.
It's something that I would love to do. To be honest, I love supporting, like even the company that I work with. I actually support the graduates in my team and recruiting, and just their mentor for their buddy for the beginning. So I think that's something that I would definitely do. Yeah.
Amazing. I don't know what, Marianne. I think that's something you already done.
Yeah, I run the training development team. If I mentioned a lot, they just come to me. Yes, so, yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm passionate about. Obviously, people is my thing, and there's a few people in this room that I've mentored as well already. And I just love helping people reach their full potential. And so I'm very passionate about that, because I got mentored. I'm like you. I had someone that showed me that I could do whatever I wanted, and so I want to show other people that they can do whatever they want and they can be amazing, and they are amazing. Every one of you is amazing.
How about you, Kevin?
I definitely get involved. Yeah, I think a great way for a young professional to kind of get clarity over where they want to go or where they can get to is to find people that have a role that they'd like to do and understand how they do it and work towards that. I've had it, I've like various people that I've emulated in my career, but yeah, I'd love to provide that role for someone coming into the industry, for sure.
Amazing. Okay.
So yeah, I'm on apprenticeship, so it's having a full mentorship is fantastic, and being able to help progress things. So I do Revit training things for other engineers in the company and things. So it's nice to be able to give something back as well as learning and developing your own skills. So it's a fantastic thing. Been involved in the mentor discussion at the CIBSE Awards, so it's nice to see the opinions of some of the seniors as well. And it's such a huge part of our careers. Whether you're being a mentee or a mentor, you will learn something, and you will learn something the opposite way as well. So it's great.
So I have a bonus question, and this is just to show the audience that when you have one role in CIBSE, it doesn't mean that this is your role, you only do that. Do you guys, any of you do any other activity apart within the institution apart from your role as chair?
So obviously as part of the chair, you have to be, you go to the council meetings as well. So that I do that as well. I think when I finish my time, I will look to move on to something else. That is
Something else?
my plan, but I wouldn't know what it is. I'm sure it might appear, but I like things to appear. I believe everything happens for a reason.
Yes.
And so something will come up. So
Shall we look to you in the next?
So you're open to it.
How about you, Kevin? Do you do other things? There's, first, congratulations for CNI winning. Which award did you win at BPA?
Building performance consultancy of the year.
Of the year. Congratulations. That's good. Did you work on that? How does that happen?
Yeah, like our team is the building performance team at CI, so yeah, the submission involved a lot of our team, but also like how we integrate with the other part of our company, which do a lot more like kind of higher kind of program management for CI and commercial real estate clients and various clients within kind of
Outside of YAPG, do you do other things with CIBSE? Collaboration with CI?
Yeah, that's something I'm pushing to do more of. Yeah, definitely. Not yet. Aside from kind of attending the other chair groups or like sitting in other committee meetings. That's it really. But I think, yeah, being able to kind of work more with other committees is something that I want to do more of.
Marate, with your new position, you have way.
I will have, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember thinking some, community regions and everything, but other than that, I don't think I have any thoughts, but it will be more next year. So.
Last question.
Yes.
How many countries is Yen involved in?
Countries, so except from the UK, they would have Australia, Hong Kong, have Scotland. Scotland is different.
So we have
They're on the United Kingdom.
Yeah. So it's Northern Ireland, UK, the British, New Zealand, Australia, Hong Kong, and UAE.
And Republic of Ireland.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah. Why would you want to create another?
Yeah, why is this the only international community?
The thing that we came across with CIBSE is that we do a lot of partnership with ASHRAE, and in some of these countries ASHRAE is more present than CIBSE. CIBSE is younger than ASHRAE, so
yeah. I was thinking, to be honest, being from Greece, I was thinking to expand
in Europe,
in Greece.
Oh,
I think something there. I have some friends and people that they could do. I don't know. I need to discuss that with CIBSE. Open to it. I don't know what it takes. Yeah, I'm more than happy to my global position extend to Cyprus. Cyprus might be easy.
Society lighting of their chairs in Cyprus.
Oh, really?
Already.
We learn everything.
It's going to be different chairs in Cyprus.
Do you do?
So I'm being the Sophie group was so isolated from the rest of the Yen. Last year, being able to connect with the global Yen was quite nice, and being able to expand the network and help push the public health side of it with all the different Yen groups was fantastic. And off the back of that, we've also helped the Society of Lighting with their Yen group, because we founded ours 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So it's been nice to be able to help them implement changes as well. With Sophie, they have the Plumbing Centre of Excellence. So they're involved with different colleges around London and the UK. So being able to get involved with them and help.
Nice interruption.
So yeah, being able to help the colleges as well. We've been, not the engineers, but they're actually the installers, the plumbing students, which has been really nice, and being able to assist in that way and getting our engineers some more hands-on practical knowledge, as well as giving them some engineering knowledge has been great. So.
That's one thing I think I failed this year. Was getting more contractors and how do you call them, manufacturers within the committee, because we had Scott, who is currently the patron chair, who was in the committee when you were chair. I think it's always a good thing to have different perspective, and I still don't know how we can attract more contractors into different committees, or because I know facility management have their own group, but contractors, I think we miss them, but they are the last part of them. Yeah. But anyways, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time for coming down here, despite the weather. I'm really grateful. I have a nice small box. I actually put my heart in it. Okay, yeah. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you for making the time. I know it's not easy to get away from our desks, so thank you for coming here and have food with us, because I look miserable with all this food. One thing I wanted to add, I don't think we press on that a lot, is that the way I see it, CIBSE is our home, is our institution. It's a house for everyone. There are multiple rooms, rooms for everyone with a different vision, with different purpose, with a different passion. I strongly encourage anyone in the room to really engage with these people, with these chairs, just to get to know them. AGMs are just around the corner. In the next 2 weeks, this might be your opportunity to get first-hand, fresh information and think about maybe getting involved with the committee. So I strongly encourage to have a chat with these, think about your own journey within CIBSE. Thank you.